Hello and thank you for joining us right here on Luntha Television. It's time for news. Enjoy with me, Jacqueline Saidi. First, the headlines.
Pope Leo XIV remembers the 80th Hiroshima anniversary while urging global peace and fraternity. Malawi Human Rights Commission and the Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance urged disciplinary action, legal reforms and criminal investigations on torture and malnutrition at Mikuyu 1 prison. Government extends EPITA 20 application deadline as internet issues plague online application. And in other news, Sudan reports over 21 cholera deaths in just 1 week.
We have these and more. Stay with us. On the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombing of the Japanese city of Hiroshima, Pope Leo XIV dedicated some time to remembering the tens of thousands killed and injured on August 6, 1945. He also reported that in just 3 days the world will mark another sad anniversary, the bombing of Nagasaki. At the close of his general audience, the Pope offered words of solidarity, assuring his prayers for all those who have suffered its physical, psychological, and social consequences. Charity Chilanga is reading a Vatican News report.
The Pope expressed his hope that the world today, plagued by intense divisions and deadly violence, will replace its full sense of security based on the threat of mutual destruction with justice, open dialogue, and trust in fraternity. This appeal comes after the Pope sent a message to the Bishop of Hiroshima during the celebration of Mass for Peace in the city. Through it, the Holy Father expressed his prayer that this anniversary may serve as a call to the international community to renew its commitment to pursuing lasting peace for our whole human family, a peace that is unarmed and disarming. In Japan, the annual ceremony was held at the city's Peace Memorial Park to mark the anniversary. Representatives from a record 120 countries and regions participated in the memorial service with a moment of silence observed at 8:15 a.m., the exact time of the bombing.
The ongoing National Eucharistic Congress in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe has revealed that Catholic faithful are eager to learn more about Catholic social teaching, particularly on the sacrament of Eucharist. According to Rector of Kachibere Major Seminary, Father Enoch Kanjira, the active participation of delegates during presentations has shown that Christians are hungry to know more about their faith. Father Kanjira's presentation on Christ's presence in the church, especially during liturgical celebrations, aimed to help the faithful understand the sacrament of Eucharist better. Emmanuel Chocha reports.
The Eucharist Congress has come at the right time and to help the faithful deepen the understanding of their faith and come closer to God. In an interview, Father Kanjira stressed that the Eucharist is holy and Christians should strive to receive it every time they attend Mass. He urged delegates to participate actively in all sessions during the Congress.
There is a hunger of catechesis that people need to be taught the Catholic way of understanding the Eucharist. The Eucharist as the sacrament where Jesus is really, truly, and substantially present. From the questions, you could see that some of them looked simple, but people need to understand what they believe.
One of the delegates, Helen Mangochi from the Archdiocese of Luntha, commended the bishops for organizing the event. She said it has helped her understand and deepen her Catholic faith.
Well, in this second day, I think the lessons that I can share with the rest of the people there are that there's need for us to maintain silence. There's need for people, there's need for Christians to observe silence in front of the Blessed Sacrament, because it is in that silence that Christ, who is present in this sacrament, speaks to us.
The Eucharist Congress, which began on August 5th and will run until August 9th, is celebrated under the theme Eucharist, Souls, and Summit of Pilgrims of Hope. The event aims to help Catholics develop deeper understanding of the sacrament and its significance in their lives.
That was Fathers Chizombe reading a report which was filed by Emmanuel Chiwocha. Malawi Human Rights Commissioner Teresa Ndanga has called for disciplinary action against officers involved in torturing inmates at Mikuyu 1 prison. The development comes as the Malawi Human Rights Commission has uncovered serious human rights violations at Mikuyu 1 prison in Zomba, including incidents of torture that have led to the death of one inmate and the disappearance of 5 others. Ndanga has also recommended reviewing prison food policies to combat malnutrition and abolishing the Nyapara system, which can lead to prisoner abuse. Meanwhile, the Center for Human Rights Education Advice and Assistance has urged for a thorough investigation and follow-through on the issue to ensure concrete action is taken. We have more in this report, which has been filed by Gift Karonga.
The Malawi Human Rights Commission, MHRC, said it is calling for action against Malawi Police Service officials who acted unprofessionally by torturing inmates. Commissioner Teresa Ndanga also urged the government to review policies regarding prison farm produce, noting that only 20% of the food grown by inmates is located to them. She warned that this practice is contributing to the rising cases of malnutrition in prisons.
So after conducting this investigation, the Malawi Human Rights Commission has found that there is widespread malnutrition or starvation at Mikuyu 1 prison in Zomba. We conducted this investigation upon receiving an anonymous tip. And once we got there, we did realize from the physical observation that we made, but also by conducting interviews by the affected inmates, prison authorities, health officials, that there was malnutrition was quite a big problem. At the time of this investigation, over 100 inmates had been affected. Most of them had been sent to receive medical help. So that is one. The second thing that we found after conducting this investigation was that there was torture in prisons from two parts. The first one was perpetrated by whom we may refer to as inmate prefects. Otherwise, most of us know them as Anyapala. They did confess that they were doing this upon instructions from officials. On another end, we also did find that prison officials were also perpetrators of torture against prisoners. We did find from observation that some inmates did have torture marks on their bodies. So these are the major findings. However, there is also one part, there was also allegations that some inmates had died from torture. One is confirmed by health officials, but we also did find that there were allegations that 5 inmates had been tortured to death and their deaths had been concealed.
In a separate interview, Executive Director of the Center for Human Rights Education Advice and Assistance, CREA, Victor Muhango, has called on the Malawi Prison Service to launch a thorough investigation into the matter, emphasizing that it involves human lives and must be treated with urgency. Muhango also urged the Malawi Human Rights Commission, MHRC, to ensure the case is followed through to its conclusion beyond just producing investigation reports.
Yeah, I think we have seen the report. It's actually sudden, and our reaction is that let the Malawi Prison Service investigate, because there are serious allegations that are bordering to death. So I think these are serious allegations. We know that the Malawi Prison Service, their stand is clear, they don't torture, but if there are some individuals who did this, they should be punished. They should face the law, because torture is prohibited under the laws of Malawi. We always believe that Malawi Human Rights Commission is a constitutional body. It's mandated by the parliament. I believe that I think it's some recommendations that the officers are not taking them in, then they should go back to parliament and report the departments of parliament. And even probably they have got a legal section here. They can even take the case to court. They can do litigation, because sometimes you give hopes to people, and then later on we find that there's no closing of that issue. So I think each and every issue that the commission has investigated, there should be a closure. If they are failing, then they should do the same way like the ombudsman they do. They can go to court and litigate, because it's not good as well that just producing reports without actually concluding the matters.
Meanwhile, the Malawi Human Rights Commission has asked the Malawi Police Service to investigate the whereabouts of missing inmates. The commission has also called on prison authorities to abolish the Nyapara system and take immediate action to address food shortages in prisons. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
Internet access woes have forced the Ministry of Higher Education to extend the deadline for the initial primary teacher education EPT 20 online application. This is according to Higher Education Minister Dr. Jesse Kabwira, who has told a press briefing in Lilongwe that the initial closing date of August 12th has been shifted to 30th August 2025 to ensure that no aspiring teacher is left behind. Robert Edward reports.
With over 2,400 individuals already submitting their applications since the portal was launched on July 12, 2,440 pending out of over 9,000 applications, the online applications for initial primary teacher education EPT 20 online application has faced internet access and familiarity woes. Ministry of Higher Education has since introduced teacher agents in various education zones, increased the helplines, and will distribute application guidelines flyers across social media platforms in addressing the challenges. These, plus extending the deadline from 12th to 30th August this year, have been touted to be the solutions to the challenges, according to the Minister, Dr. Jessica Bwira.
Those who have not done well, those who have not managed to respond, the real challenges were two: the network, one, and probably not following the process. I would say, as a new ministry, we do not have a baseline, because this is our first time, right? But what we can tell you is it has been received very well, because this innovation came because of, at the request of teachers themselves, because of the challenges they're meeting. So for us, we are just very happy that, in fact, this prompt for us to say, let's increase it, because we really want to open the door for more people to use this. It is not as if no one had responded. No, they've received this very, very favorably. But we want to scale up.
EPT 20 intake will prioritize filling public teacher training colleges to capacity, with the remainder of successive applicants hoped to fill the accredited private institutions. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
Remember, you're still watching news right here on Luntha Television. We'll be back after the break.
National Eucharistic Congress. The Catholic bishops in Malawi are pleased to invite all Catholics and people of goodwill to the first ever National Eucharistic Congress at Maula Cathedral from August 5 to August 9, 2025. The theme for this event is the Eucharist, Source and Summit of Pilgrims of Hope. Let us all come to celebrate the Holy Eucharist, the real body and blood of Christ, his sacrifice and the sign of his unconditional love for us. This Congress will allow us to renew our faith, deepen our understanding and appreciation of the sacrament of the Eucharist, and express our unity as Catholics in Malawi through communal worship. At the Congress, we will receive the grace to persevere through life's challenges as we live out our Christian faith. Discover your faith, embrace your Catholic faith, renew your faith, engage in your faith. Be part of the first ever National Eucharistic Congress.
Welcome back. If you've just joined in, know that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Nevi Media Center. Know that you can also catch us on our Facebook page at Luntha Television and on our YouTube channel on Luntha TV. Moving forward, Gift Kanunga, the Malawi Congress Party aspiring councillor for Chugunika in Mtili Zawad, has promised to bring meaningful development and positive change to his community if elected. He has also encouraged voters to support George Zuru for Member of Parliament and Dr. Lazarus Chakwera for President, highlighting the value of collaborative leadership in driving community progress. Patrick Hooper has more in this report.
Gift Kanungona has confidently assured residents that despite this being his first time into electoral politics, he is committed to earning their support ahead of the upcoming general elections on September 16, 2025. Representing the Malawi Congress Party MCP, Kanungona has articulated a vision for his constituency that prioritizes development and inclusivity, promising that both youth and elder members of the community will benefit from special initiatives, including development loans aimed at enhancing their daily lives.
My main intention is I want to assist the youth as I am. Of course, I feel shame when I see some youth drinking beer, smoking. I know they do that because they have nothing to do. But with my coming up there, I will call boys and girls to work together so that maybe I will give them job or some businesses. I want to assure you guys out there, we only have some 41 days remaining, so that please, when you want to vote me, don't just vote me, because I also have some my bosses like Dr. Jaguira, our president, George Zulu, because if you just vote for me and not vote for my bosses, definitely I will be in trouble, right? Vote for me, Mr. Zulu, my MP, and Dr. Jaguira, my president. Because when you vote for, it's like a set, definitely my job will be easier.
Kanunguna has since encouraged all constituents to engage actively in the electoral process and work together for a bright future. The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) officially launched the campaign period on July 14, 2005, which will conclude on September 14, 2005.
In international news, at least 21 people have died from cholera within a week in Sudan following an outbreak. the Health Ministry said on Tuesday. 2,345 infections were also recorded in a week. A total of 2,408 deaths and 96,681 infections have so far been recorded since the outbreak in August 2024. Charity Chilanga is reading an African News report.
The conflict in North Darfur has intensified since April this year, and in addition to cholera, the lives of more than 640,000 children under 5 are heightened the risk of violence, disease and hunger. The civil war has wrecked Sudan's health system, creating a breeding ground for diseases and affecting the well-being of millions, including already vulnerable communities. There are outbreaks of cholera, measles, and malaria. In North Darfur, hospitals have been bombed and health facilities in and around areas close to the fighting have been forced to shut down. Sudan is experiencing a seasonal outbreak of several diseases, particularly those associated with the rainy season, including malaria, cholera, and dengue fever. The country also remains gripped by conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, which erupted in April 2023. The fighting has killed tens of thousands of people and displaced millions, both internally and across borders, deepening the country's humanitarian crisis. At present, 70 to 80% of medical institutions in the conflict areas of Sudan are unable to operate normally, and more than 250 hospitals across the country have been forced to close.
The report also concludes our news bulletin, but before we go, let's have a reminder of our headlines.
Pope Leo XIV remembers the 80th Hiroshima anniversary while urging global peace and fraternity. Malawi Human Rights Commission and the Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance urge disciplinary action, legal reforms and criminal investigations on torture and malnutrition at Mikuyu 1 prison. Government extends EPITA 20 application deadline as internet issues plague online application. And in other news, Sudan reports over 21 cholera deaths in just 1 week.
You have been with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha Television. Stay safe.